Chad Nail on here for the second Utes race of the weekend. Reverse top 10 this one. Joined by Dean Canto. And Dino, your car is in the shootout. Exciting times down there at the Bottle Racing team. But this is going to be a flip of the top 10, which leaves us with a grid like this. The front row left vacant in honour of Luke Spalding, who is a Ute racer who recently passed away. We are thinking of the Spalding family this weekend. It puts Aaron Borg on pole position alongside Kim Jane.
Yeah, always these reverse grids throw up a bit of a wild card, but Ryle Harris obviously quickest yesterday, finished on top, and he's starting P12. But you know, for the guys that are a little bit further back, they might not have got a good running qualifying, so they might be able to hold the guys out behind them. But a little bit of carnage yesterday. We had that safety car which sort of cut the race short by about 2 laps. Yeah. And we had Nandy Kiss and Burnett there coming together just before the cutting.
It was a tough gig for Jared McLeod yesterday, Dino. He was due to finish 10th and would have taken pole position for this one, but got a 5-second post-race penalty for a start line infringement. So that promoted the man they call Cyborg up to 10th, which then put him on pole position, which is quite advantageous for him. Here's the open face helmet.
I love the nicknames these guys give themselves.
Yeah, he gave himself that nickname, the Fat Stick. It's Bruce Oakland's in the Oakland's built car. And he has Jeremy Gray as teammate now. Skinny Stick in the number 2 green and black Ute, which is pulling onto the front straight. So just to give you a bit of background for this championship, David Cedars looking the goods at the moment. We're right on board with his teammate, Craig Dontis, looking backwards. But Cedars extending that championship lead yesterday to over 70 points. Now he's got more than one whole race clear of Ryan Hansford and the chasing pack. So that's good news for him. How busy would he have been to get straight out of? Did he even have a chance to do that? That's amazing. Straight out of the 86 car.
86, yeah.
Into the Ute, and he's on the grid. There he is in the black and orange Ute, right in the middle of that pack. So a vacant front row, which we can see up on the Red Rooster delivery cam in honour of an 18-year-old Ute racer and Formula 3 racer who, unfortunately, very sadly, passed away recently. Riding on board with Matt Nolan there for a second. He has his 16-month-old son. Learned how to walk on the Townsville weekend. He did the track walk with Dad here this weekend. That's an impressive track walk for a toddler.
That would have been a lot of distance to cover for the little man. Short legs. I know what it's like.
He said it was quicker than Kim Jane doing the track walk, though, so that was good. That is Kimbo on the front row, outside row 1. Looks like we're ready to go here. Utes are stacked and racked for the reverse grid race. And we're off and running. Kim Jane, so many more starts and a lot more experience than Borg, and it might be the deciding factor down into turn 1.
Yeah, Borg just checks up there on the brake, takes a safe option, slots in behind Kim, but Kim, awesome off the line.
Oh, there go a few mirrors. Cedars, he's tucked right in behind this 3-wide pack of Barbera. Fisher in the middle, Dontis. 3-wide action, 3x3. Oh. Jeremy Gray's going to come and give Fisher a tap and push him right up the middle. You cannot get closer than that. 7 cars all on top of each other, and that was inevitable. They were never going to get through there. Hanson's caught up in it. Fisher in the fence. 3x3. It was ambitious. Someone was always going to end up in tears, and it was the Jesus Racing Ute. And amazingly, we might be able to keep this going.
Yeah, that would have looked good from the old helicopter shot over the top there. We had about 9 cars all lined up there with no room, but someone's come off second best.
Look at this battle. Ryle Harris and Pretty, who's facing some bad understeer at Reed Park.
Yeah, that wall would have come up real quick on Nath there. Maybe cold tyres or just a little bit of the dirty stuff. But we've all been close to that wall before, not ideal.
McLeod, switchback move from the inside of McPhillam, he's brave. He knows better than that, and he pulls out of sticking the nose up the inside of Terry Nightingale's car. Those raindrops in the lenses up there?
Potentially.
I think it's actually sprinkling up there.
And the wind's calmed down, so we might have a couple of spots of rain.
They're slipping around, but that's nothing new for the Utes anyway. They'd do that in a perfectly dry day. Kim Jane leads us down onto Conrod. Oh, Gray under pressure from Barbera. He's got overlap. Hansford lucky to get away with that accident on the opening lap. Cedars escaped it as well, and Barbera's got a really good run. Alongside Jeremy Gray, these two have had their words in the past. They've had their little indiscretions. More raindrops on the camera lenses on Conrod, but isn't enough as we go flat through the chase. Barbera, one of the bravest guys out there. Hang on to it.
Not going to stop.
Oh, that tyre is copping an absolute thumping. Points for trying.
Yeah, he was committed. I'll give him that. He's, as you said, he's not shying away from anything there, and he's definitely got the seatbelts nice and tight to try and pull that one off. But that tyre will be hurt now. It was a long, long lock-up. Thankfully, it's majority are left-handers here, so it'll just hurt him a little bit on the brakes on the preceding corners.
It's worked out brilliantly for Aaron Borg, who's just locked himself in there in second position with the big brawling pack behind him, giving him a little bit of breathing room. And no safety car because of that opening lap crash, which is fantastic.
Cedars into fourth, and Hansford's back in eighth, so obviously doing well for his championship here. This should have been where Hansford should have taken the opportunity to be in front of Cedars to try and gain some points back, but obviously the way that first lap played out, he's dropped behind him.
Back towards the cutting we go.
Just trying to see how many mirrors are actually missing off cars. You've got left, right. It's one of the things you need around here, especially on all the corners. You can't see someone in your peripheral, and if you've lost a mirror, all you can do is judge by the sound of the car next to you. So it's sometimes hard once you lose that mirror to judge your surroundings.
Well, that one for Barbera is definitely hanging off. And Craig Wood's doing a good job here, going with the lead pack as well. He's in ninth at the moment, ahead of Danny Bazadzik inside the 10. So that opening lap crash has opened up the mid-pack, and we're seeing a few different names sneak inside the 10, which is good to see. There's Woods in the black and orange ute. Sinclair forward. Love the look of that car. It's very grey up there now.
Yeah, one of those places where obviously it's nice and clear down the bottom. You think you're all good, and there'll just be a local shower just on one corner up the top. And while you're down the bottom, it might sprinkle across the top. A little bit of an unload there into the braking zone.
I see it as copping one from Harris. These two have a lot of respect for each other. I'm sure they didn't mean to go barreling into one another there, but Barbera is probably the guy who's got the best run out of the lot. Now, does he go for the outside move through the chase again? Fool me once, Mason Barbera.
You want to be kind to that tyre as he comes into the chase this time. Oh, wow.
These guys are on the ragged edge. That is the limit. That is the limit displayed for you right there. And Harris knew that he needed to be perfect, because if he gave Barbera any chance, he would jump at it. And the lead pack come by to complete the second one. Nathan Pretty hasn't had a chance to jump up the pack here. Sitting in seventh. Wow, what a start this was on the Red Rooster delivery cam. Don just had a cracking start, got up the inside. And this is what the reverse grid race can do. It can stack and pack them like this.
Everyone just leaning on each other there. Oh, it's never a good spot to be on the outside of turn one.
How about Fisher? He's in the middle. There's nowhere he can go. He can't back off because he's got a guy right up behind his tailgate.
I would actually put a little bit towards him on that one. He actually sort of squeezed the car on the outside. So hard down there into turn two. It does narrow a little bit. And Don just there on the outside would have thought he was all, he held his line.
Let's just listen to this, Dino. Wow.
Yeah, feel for Craig on that one.
This guy's been avoiding crashes with ease this weekend. He's doing a very good job, Bruce Oaklands. He saw it all, didn't he? Oh, no.
Lock-up.
He's driving into a war zone up there at Blundstone Bend and gets through another one. What an onboard, what a shot.
What's that movie, Days of Thunder? Just drive through it.
Drive through it. Speaking of smoke, there's Barbera's little bushfire on the left front.
Plenty of action happened so far this race.
Good stuff. And Borg is actually going with Kim Jane. This is quite big, because Kimbo has a lot more experience around this track than the young Sydney sider. A bit of kart experience, has a few rounds in the utes, drove for Fisher's team. But for him to be able to go with a guy with over 200 races experience and stick it with him, that's good. Oh. Have a look at this battle. That's not Cedars trying to pass someone, that's Cedars trying to make sure he doesn't get past.
Yeah, he's on the defence.
And this has brought Pretty into the mix.
Just give Jeremy Gray a bit of a breather there. He's actually backed these guys up a bit, but with Cedars covering there just into the elbow. Oh, Is that a missed gear for Jeremy? Just,
good call.
He's missed a gear. Sure.
Great call, and they pounce. And this scatters the pack once again. Nathan Pretty gets the advantage. We're nearly 3 wide of the chase. And again, they sort it out. Maybe Jeremy Gray's got more of an issue here because he's dropped all the way back to the back of this pack. Yeah,
maybe a puncture or something,
more than a missed gear, but they did a really good job to get around him. He's going to go for another lap here.
Oh, spin in the background.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh, it's Danny Bazadzik in the fence. The Western General Bodyworks Ford.
Just kissed the wall.
Oh, he's not alone.
2 cars.
It's Jared McLeod. Oh, he's got huge damage to the front of his car. And he doesn't look very happy here, Jared. He was out of that car quickly.
Oh, that's big impact. He's come through the chase or something, I reckon. And
oh, dear.
Because that's contact with the wall.
That is a real shame. Yep, quick check to make sure they're both there. And that often happens in a head-on because you've got 2 belts that run either side of them.
Yes. I'm hoping he hasn't had brake failure or something from that one. It's because that's a substantial hit. But anyway, it's hopefully we don't get a safety car for that. We've got 5 laps remaining. And Kim and Borg obviously just out in front, pulling away from these guys.
Here we go. There's lockups in the background. Whoa, he had a stuck throttle maybe. That's Nightingale following him behind him. The crash has already happened up the road here.
Yeah, okay.
Oh my goodness me. What has happened there? Oh, he's had a head-on with the concrete fence.
So these are separate incidents. So whether Danny's sort of seen Jared go off and it's thrown him, but
I know Jared's got an onboard in that car.
Yeah. Just
for his own personal benefit, and I wonder if we might be able to chase that down. I'll get onto that myself and see if we can bring that up for the later race today, because that'll be a frightening onboard.
Yeah.
Head on with the concrete at the end of the chase, and he's out of that car, which is good news, and no safety car as well.
So Aaron Borg putting some pressure on Kim Jane here. He's not far off the fastest lap of the race set by Jeremy Gray.
Well, Jared had a puncture at the 12 out through that corner as well, so the chase isn't exactly his best friend at the moment, as again Cedars goes defensive on the inside of Forrest.
Oh, this is going to hurt him for the run on Conrod.
This is Harris's best chance. That Mango Credit Ute carrying 40 kilos of ballast because he is the championship leader. Now he needs to be smart here. The Mango Credit Ute is leading the points. Pretty, who's the 3rd car in this line, is trying to get some championship points back, and he's got a great run. Wants the outside of Ryle Harris and has the overlap for the inside.
These boys are smart. They'll go through there together. Might lean in. Switch back, Nate. No. Oh, there actually would have been a yellow flag there. Barbera may want to back out of this a little bit.
Yeah, there were waved yellows.
Yeah.
And it'd be a good thing for Barbera to actually not win this fight.
Well, they've gone past the green flag already, so...
There you go. All's well that ends well.
Yeah.
We'll call that redressed, even if he didn't really
one of those things,
do it.
These guys would have went through the chase on the previous lap with no incident, and they've come there this time for the first time. So if their crew haven't been on the radio and informed them, sometimes when you're in a battle pack like that, you're side by side with someone else, you're not really aware of the flags. I know it's our job to be, but when you're going through the chase side by side, it's not a place where you want to be looking for the flag point as opposed to looking at the car next to you. So, yeah, it's all good. Those boys sorted themselves out.
Pretty, turn 2, Blundstone bend. Oh, no, they touch. And this has really scattered that pack a bit. Gives Cedars some breathing room. Barbera is in everything, and he wants a piece of this fight. The outside of the cutting, hanging on the high line.
Racing hard but fair.
This is awesome stuff. He's going to get that done.
He's got it. And Nate's just gone, there you go, I'll learn from my mistake.
That's one of the moves of the weekend. Yeah. Driving around the outside of someone at the cutting. That is going the long way. Good stuff from the teenager, the black and pink IOR Falcon.
Cedars has looked in his mirror and said, thanks, guys. Keep arguing. Give me some breathing space.
Well, it's worked brilliantly for Cedars, who's up to 3rd, and again will be extending his championship lead in this race. Barbera made a mistake there at Philemy Park. Hansford probably driving with some bent steering courtesy of the accident on the opening lap. Can't progress from 7th. Cedars looking very good in this championship. And hasn't he been long deserving of getting that title? He's been a runner-up so many times. 3rd, 4th, always in the top 5, but never has he been able to claim that championship win. This could be the year. He's putting together a great weekend.
Yeah, driving really smart too. Obviously, he was a bit defensive before, but never really took any risk as far as, you know, them being able to turn him around or you know, have contact. So it's all about finishing every race you can, even if you're not going to win. You know, drop a spot, play it safe. When you've got a margin like that in the championship, you always got to double wave yellows down there still.
Gee, Cedars is actually catching the lead pack, and with 4 laps to go, he could win this race.
Yeah, pulling in you know, almost half a second just in that last sector, so he's pacey. Royal Harris has just done the fastest middle sector.
Here we go, this lap by. It's the fastest lap of the race, David Cedars. This is the moment for Barbera.
He's using all of the track and then some today. Maybe every day.
He's a one-man highlight thrill. I love watching him race. So we're going to have a couple of 3-car fights. One for the lead, that one there. And that's the proof that Cedars is just reeling these guys in at the moment. Yeah. 2:37.7 on that last lap. Wow, 1.5 seconds quicker than the lead pack. So he's with him, and he's got 3 laps to work with here, Dino. So if it stays green, he's got his teammate ahead right now, who's not in the championship fight. Oh, there's some defensive stuff. So how does Borg play this? You've got the team boss behind you, who's fighting for a championship. You wouldn't make it too hard for him, surely.
No, and obviously, you know, Dave's pacey as well. So Aaron's been doing a great job out in front there. But if Dave has a look, I'm sure Aaron will be smart enough about it, especially if it is the team boss behind you.
5-car operation for the Cedars family here this weekend. One of the best presented teams in the Australian V8U Racing Series, which has its biggest grid of season 2016 here this weekend. 23 cars joining the fray. Peter Burnett, unfortunately, not making it out after his crash yesterday, so just 22 taking the start here today.
I'll tell you what, Cedars' car must be working really well. If he's got that 40-kilo success balance, he still had the fastest first sector, which is, it's a long climb. It's from turn 1, the climb all the way up to the tree. It's quite steep, so to get that extra 40 kilos up the hill quicker than anyone else, it's a great job. So just have a little look here. It's not an ideal place to pass at the elbow. Very hard to see, or if someone's dived up the inside shield of the car in front.
Oh, Barbera. See what I mean? He's entertaining. Now, he doesn't need to pick up any more spots here, sideways Cedars. These are all just really bonus points for him because 3rd in the championship is out of the race, that being Dontis. But he'll go up the inside at the chase. He's got a great run. Borg opens the door. And he moves on through to 2nd position. He's got 2 laps to chase down Kim Jane for the win. He's flying right now. You can see the 2 nicknames on the windshield. He's got Princess as well as Sideways. Princess was Luke Spalding's nickname. Yep. An unfortunate nickname, but that was the one that he ran with. And Luke very much missed in this championship, but a nice little sign from the Cedars boys to put his nickname above that of David in this weekend's racing.
Actually, Cedars was lucky there that he got the pass done before the entry to the chase, because the double wave yellows were actually at the chase, the left-hander. But nonetheless, we're pressing on. Cedars did the fastest sector in the last sector that lap. The fastest lap of the last lap was Royal Harris, 32.4. So he's pacey as well. But now we've got Aaron Borg between Royal and Cedars.
This is building nicely. Cedars, Kim Jane's just driving through understeer down there. You can actually hear it. You know it's bad understeer when you can hear it.
Yeah, he probably needs to change his driving style a little bit, or think about a different setup. But you can always move the weight around just by a bit of trail brake and things like that. But he's probably looking more in his mirrors now, trying to work out how he can stay in front of Cedars here.
He's got 3 race wins here at the mountain, Kim Jane.
Oh, that really is squealing, isn't it?
It's an unhappy race car. But you don't have to have the fastest race car to win in this position. You just need to have a bit of nous at the mountain. And the Jane family's got plenty of that. He is driving the wheels off it to stay out in front of Cedars. Just no turn. Missing the apex of McPhillamy Park. He's a sitting duck. Can he hang on? He needs a good exit out of Forest Elbow, which is in about 5 corners' time. Here's the Cooper's Dipper. Very important corner coming up.
Yeah, Forest Elbow is one of those ones you can rush it quite easily if you have a little bit understeer and you miss your sweet spot, you don't get the run down Conrod, which carries the whole way down. You'll be 3Ks slower by the end of it. So
out of the elbow, we've got a couple of battles to watch out for. Borg is falling back into the clutches of Ryle Harris. This race playing out nicely on the penultimate lap. This is the fight for third. And here's the fight for the lead. Cedars to the outside.
Yeah, he obviously can't go now. We've got the double yellows.
So Jane will have 1 or 2 corners to gather his thoughts as the race leader. This battle still in position as they wear down Conrod as they go past the stricken McLeod car. I think those yellows have been withdrawn. Oh, no, take that back. There. Look at Borg on the defensive, but Harris just goes further. Great move.
Barbera's pushing his luck. This will be interesting come turn 1.
So Borg will be on
Nathan's
the outside.
In on this
Nathan springs a surprise. Harris got a really bad exit out of Murray's last lap of what has been a cracking ute race. And these guys are going to go all the way up Mountain Straight, and the fight for the lead is on as well, because Cedars was just stalking Kim Jane up the hill. Oh, a bit of a shot in the rear tailgate for the Bushranger ute, courtesy of Pretty. Look at Jane defensive.
So Nathan should give Borg a little bit of a nudge here and just following through, block Harris out into turn 2.
Great camera work to pick up both battles. From Craig Donner's point of view. Now that's crafty.
It's artistic, very artistic.
It was pulled into someone's driveway there. That's actually the driveway to a house, believe it or not. There's a letterbox there and everything.
There we go. So Nate's in front of Ryle now. That worked out for him well.
And Borg is hanging on to second ahead of some of the very experienced drivers, including a 3-time champion, Ryle Harris. Last lap for Kimbo. Hang on. Hang on, Kim.
Yeah, everyone wants to win Bathurst, no matter what category it is. Even if he did have the advantage of the reverse grid and starting off the front row. Still done a great job there, Kim, dealing with that understeer that we can hear over the TV.
Last time across the top in race 2, their 3rd race. Coming up later today. And no Sunday race for these guys.
Kim's just done his fastest first sector, so he's trying hard.
Okay, again, needs to be perfect through the elbow. Needs a great exit. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. And the fight for third. It's almost a repeat of the last lap, only switched Pretty with Harris as Harris lights up the rears. Oh, Cedars has got the overlap. The lockup has hurt Kim Jane, and there'll be a change for the lead long before the yellows. And Kim, with all that understeer, won't fancy going around the outside at the chase, surely. We nearly high-five mirrors. Look at this. Oh, there goes one. At 250 Ks, they go side by side through here. They'll argue about who got here first for the yellow flags, and Kim hangs on to it.
Yeah, I think Cedars probably played it smart there. That would have been a tough one to call, even if the pass did go through with the yellow flag, but that's all right. Cedars is thinking about the championship.
Last chance, Kim half covers it off, just needs a good exit. And this has been an absolute cracker. What a race. And in the background...
Oh, Nathan, sideways.
Borg hangs on for third. Goodness me, that was a good race. 0.3 of a second in it at the stripe. And that was a thriller. Kim Jane and David Cedars, they have the closest race finish here in 2013, 0.2 of a second. And now they added it. Look at this on the Yokohama replay.
Oh, actually, did they touch wheels or just mirrors? Oh, you couldn't get any closer.
Well, if you're going to get 7 years bad luck, it's worth it for that.
Yeah. I was surprised Dave pushed it that close, considering he's looking after his championship, but it all ended well. And some great racing, great passing there at the end. And only that first lap incident that we had. Kim Jane coming out on top.
Oh, I need a breather. That was 8 amazing laps. Jane Cedars extending that championship lead now. He's in. Hansford second in the points, but 7th in the race. Craig Woods, one of his personal best results in this championship. Jeremy Gray, don't know what that issue was, but it saw him fall all the way back down to 12th. Jared McLeod, glad he's okay after that nasty hit. We'll get to the bottom of what happened to him. And Craig Dontis, 3rd in the points. A DNF has just about put a line through his name for season 2016.